Welcome back, YouTube. Again, my name is Damien Aller, and welcome back to my channel. We're back here in Unepic, and this is going to be episode 3, and I'm kind of batch recording these. I think this will be the last one for today. But again, if you put anything in the comments or suggestions, I may not have had a chance to see it or called you out for it yet. Well, correction, there's no way in heck I will have been able to do that because I haven't uploaded any of these yet. But, that doesn't mean you shouldn't put them in the comments, just so you know I'm not trying to ignore you. Now we are back here at the save point again. As I've said before, this is like the only save point that we've found so far. I mean, we have found a couple of shops, but save points are not common per se. Doesn't mean we won't find more, just haven't done so yet. On the other hand, we do have the handy-dandy shortcut system, which now has a route that we can take. So, if you were with us last time, there was a room that I did not want to do yet, and there's good reason for that. But we can try it now. Word of warning, this room is kind of dangerous, so there is a good possibility I'm going to die.
Greetings, adventurer. Do not be afraid. My name has been long forgotten. I was once an adventurer like you, but I was killed by the traps in this room. I cannot rest in peace as long as these traps remain active. Adventurer, there is a lever that controls all of the traps in this room. Find it and pull it. If you do, all the traps will be disabled, and I may finally rest in peace. Beware, the path is littered with traps. Proceed with caution and watch out for the tiles that activate them. I tried to rush past them, but that was my downfall. It would be best to activate the traps one by one and step aside to avoid them.
Poor wretch. He is trapped in this world. You should help free his soul. He deserves to rest in peace.
Wow, Zira, I'm moved. You have a heart after all. Or is it because the room's full of deadly traps?
Again, the guy's not exactly smart, but he's not an idiot either. I do have to say, though, that if you're trapped to this mortal coil because of a lever you need to pull, you might want to get it unattached to things. A lever is a really silly thing to be stuck in the world for. So, basically, we know this room is going to be full of traps. This room that we really can't see yet. And we're going to have to try to sneak by all of them and get to the lever at the very end. There are a lot of traps here, so forgive me if I kind of just inch my way through things here. Oh, potion of protection. That will be kind of useful, but yeah, personal experience, it's not going to last nearly as long as I might like.
Crouch to evade projectiles.
Okay, so every time we hear a click, that's a trap going off. Fortunately, I know there's only like 2 types of traps in here. Projectile ones and spikes. Oh, I guess there's darts too. And as you can see, in this room, there's a lot of them. Like, holy cow. Ow. Fortunately, there does seem to be a period of time where if you're hurt, you can't be hurt by something else. So that's kind of useful so you don't trigger multiple traps at once. Woo! Ow! And yeah, there are status effects, such as being on fire and poison from the snakes, so you kind of gotta watch out for that. And since I'm not regenerating anymore, that's gonna be particularly painful. now that we're closer towards the end, might as well use the potion trap detection. I know you couldn't really see behind the pillar too well, but there is a different casting time to using a potion. That was close. Now they're trying to get tricky and send things from behind us too. Ow, ow. Again, sorting through inventory is not a good thing. Okay, so that's how much a health potion will help us right now. Something to note is if you use a potion, you still save the vial, and you can reuse it later. Ooh, that was close. And our potion just wore off. Fantastic. Well, I have just noticed that you can kind of see the trap a little bit. I'm not sure there's a way to zoom in or not. Oh, yes, there is, slightly. But I have noticed you can kind of see the traps. It's just not easy to do so. Oh, that was a low flyer. They're trying to get tricksy on us now. Double trap is not cool. Do not touch, because that's immediately the first thing we're going to do. Okay, so we've broken all the traps now. And we lit everything, so woo! Now we just basically use this.
In the game menu, there's a section for quests, where you can see what quests are active and review their descriptions. This will be useful if you forget the goal of a quest.
Just FYI, it also happens to show up down here a lot of times. I suppose the game menu is for if you get an excessive number of quests or something, or maybe it provides more detail here.
Greetings, adventurer. I cannot rest in peace. Beware.
It looks like you can also abandon it. I'm not entirely sure why you would do so. I suppose there is a limit to the number of quests you have or something, but eh.
You did it. I am eternally grateful.
You're welcome, my friend. By the way, do you know of any oracle nearby?
You have questions that need answers. There is a wise creature who lives at the top of the mine. Maybe he can help you. Here is the key to enter the mine. See you in the far beyond. Goodbye.
So we have a quest from a ghost to go seek a wise creature. Well, at least he's in a mine and not in a swamp. Anyways, real quick, I'm going to head back to the Great Spirit, or whatever, and quickly get healed up because those traps did a number on me.
Ancora Bash Zera, your health has been restored.
Game saved.
Okay, so, now as I mentioned earlier, you do keep the empty vials of the different potions you drank. I did drink a health potion and a trap detection one, and I'm not entirely sure how, but later we will be able to use our different ingredients and make different different potions. I do know that there is a recipe tab, which Shift R, there we are. I suppose we'll probably need to learn the recipe before we can craft anything. So there's that. And just so you know, there is also different achievements. Most of them do not actually show up until you actually earn them. Interesting thing is, this is a Steam game, so you can see the achievements through your Steam menu. However, these will only show you the achievements that you have earned on this playthrough. I do have more achievements on my other playthroughs, so I can't see those. Similarly, there are challenges, but these ones, again, are legacy based. So if I complete the King of Dodge, which I found on my other playthrough, I did not complete it, but I found it, and now I can do that on all of mine. And if I complete it on one, I think I get the Unepic on all of them. So that's something to note. This game does have a hard and a hard plus, and I believe a hard plus plus, so it does encourage multiple playthroughs. In fact, depending on how quickly it allows you to level, you may kind of be required to do so. Just heads up. I am kind of curious what's in that other portion of the room there. Yeah, if nothing else, we can light it up. And we can bludgeon a slug to death, because, you know, that would take so long in real life. But, whatever. And now, if memory serves, I believe this is the mine door here. So we first have to use the key. And there we go.
Why do you stop?
Duh! Have you seen these big rocks falling all over the place? I could be squished by one of those rocks. Jeez, isn't there any other way?
This passage is the only path to reach the mine.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd tell me if there was another path.
Now, the first part here does seem to be safe, but just to be on the safe side. I can go back in this room and check my challenges again, and it says basically I have to dodge all the falling rocks between the columns and the corridor to the mine. So basically the idea of this challenge is to run through all these rocks and not get hit. Not sure what that timer was for, but apparently there is a small timer involved. Oh boy, I hope this timer is how long I have. Damn it. Okay, so the timer restarted. Oh.
Holy crap! I made it! I've got like plus 20 to dodging. Hey Zira, take that! I'm still alive.
God watches over fools and children.
Wait, what are all these things looking at me? They look like floating eyes. They must be like Harnakon's spies. I better kill them before they alert someone. I'll try to hit them with my bow from here.
To aim a far enemy, press target. You can only aim targets that are within your line of sight.
Okay, so this is kind of your bow tutorial here, but real quickly I'm going to drink a potion, because not because I need it per se, but frankly I am really low on health. And I would not be totally surprised if I just hit an autosave, but you know, whatever. Now, like I said, this is kind of a tutorial on the bow. The bow is, like I said, if you just press the button once, fires, and that arrow flies straight across with no drop. You cannot aim the bow. The difference is when you have an enemy like this, you can target them, which is L2 on your controller and tab on your keyboard, I believe. And then you can shoot straight at them. Since there's no drop, This is generally pretty safe to hit any target you want, providing they're not moving around too much. Like, I don't know how it will work on a bat, but it is kind of useful. Now that I regenerate some health here, I think the challenge is not to run through the pillars without getting hit, because I think I did that. I think it's rather be between the pillars for a minute and not get hit before a bowler. And that's going to be a problem. Well, that was a bad start. I don't want to say these bullets like target you, but there are some times where it definitely seems like it. Okay, where did it put me? Okay, so save point's not quite as bad, as far ahead as I might have thought, but oh well. On the other hand, this means we didn't use the potions either. I'm pretty sure we haven't. No, we haven't used the potions yet, so now we kind of got an idea what we need to do.
Why do you stop?
Duh! Have you seen these big rocks?
This.
Yeah.
We may have already seen this, so I'm just going to skip it, guys. Sorry about that. Ow! Damn it. Okay, well guys, I'm not sure how much you want to see me constantly get squished, so I'm going to try this for a bit and I'll cut back in once I finish. Okay, welcome back YouTube. I have died about 10 times in between that little gap there, give or take. I may have lost count, but give or take 10 times. I did eventually complete it. Doesn't show up in my achievements, but it does show up as being completed here in the King of Dodge. It does unlock an achievement for doing that, and did give me 30 Unepic. So I could probably go see about that merchant right now. I did end up going back and saving and healing, because when I finished up with a challenge, I was at like 2 HP. Not a good place to be in a place like this, so I fought my way back. So yeah, you may notice that my gold and experience is slightly different because I did fight some creatures on the way. Nothing major. I haven't leveled up or anything, but you know, that's just the cause. Now let's take a look here. What can I get for 30? I can apparently get black amulets. So I can get the black amulets in the Salvation Ring. The Salvation Ring could be interesting, but it isn't necessary. The black amulet is apparently a quest item, so that could be potentially useful. And I'm not sure whether or not I actively spend the Unepic when doing this, so tell you what, since I do have a recent save, why don't I try this? And okay, it does spend. So that's that. Let me go back to where I was just a moment ago, and I'll be right back. Okay, well, it seems to have autosaved before I bought the item, which I suppose is a good thing. I was kind of hoping to, you know, be able to load back up with a Great Spirit, but since, you know, it doesn't effectively count me as spending anything, I don't care too much one way or the other. It would have been really annoying if it hadn't immediately saved right after I got that amulet, which is something I did not think about. So I guess I kind of got lucky there. Anyways, as I said, I did complete the challenge. it does seem to be, the challenge seems to get progressively harder depending on your timer. I noticed it, there was like a noticeable increase in the boulder rate falling at about 15 seconds left on my timer. And I'm not sure if it was just bad luck or whatever the case was, but I had an experience where there tended to be a boulder that was like aimed directly at me at like 30 seconds. So it was slightly annoying to say the least. I did find that if I stayed close to one side of the area, like if I just stayed here, or give or about, I could stay within the timing range, or the range that's acceptable with the timer, and just watch for boulders coming from one direction, which made things slightly easier. However, at my HP level, I could only get hit like 2 or 3 times before dying, which was a bit more annoying. It's also really good at psyching out as to whether or not you should run away or whether you should run towards the boulder to avoid it. As a note, I admit I did look up on the internet to see if there was any special tricks to this, and I did. It does seem that if you're on like the hard plus or hard plus plus mode,
I'm still alive.
getting hit by a boulder is instant death. So, yeah.
Wait, what are all these things looking at me? They must
I think
be like
we've already gone through this,
Harnacon.
so I'm just gonna skip this real quick. I think I could actually bypass these guys. I don't know if they actually do anything. Tell you what, let's get rid of all but one and we'll see from there. Yeah, he's just gonna stare at me. But I guess that's kind of a waste of arrows, but okay.
Hey, this gate looks like the one I saw before near the healing spirit. But naturally, it can't be a safe passage. As my oh-so-wise mentor told me recently, there is no safer passage to reach the mine.
To open the gate place, stand in front of it and press action. Once opened, press action again to enter.
Okay, so a bit more tongue-in-cheek there, but that was just another tutorial to do the warp points because this was not officially part of the story, I suppose, but whatever. But we'll just use that to go back to the spirit. And as before, guys, I think we are going to call that a save point.
Game saved.
Because I'm not entirely sure where my timer actually sets due to the fact it died so many times. So I apologize if this is a slightly short episode. But it is a good spot to do so. When we come back, we'll kind of start exploring the mines, and I think I'll work my way down before I start working my way back up. I know the story said the wise guy we're supposed to see is actually at the top, but you know, you kind of want to explore the areas to see what sort of goodies you can find in the meantime. But that will do it. As before, if you found any references or jokes or something that I might have missed, feel free to leave them in the comments. And this will probably be the last one of the day, so I should be able to recognize those ones later. In the meantime, take care and have fun.